Hey there. It's August 4th, 2018, and today we are going to give the moringa a haircut. So we still got plenty of time, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it to right about here. And we'll get a bunch of new growth and make it more uniform. Cut off these things that nail the eyes occasionally. Got some flowers that are going to take a hit, but not that many. And we're pretty much done with all of the pods that are going to happen, or that happened early this year. Like for instance, I've been harvesting these, but this won't be affected really anyway because it's lower than 5 feet. So in any event, this is all going to get clipped to probably about this pole height here. And that way we'll have a bunch of new growth before it gets the colder weather. But we got a couple more months, 2.5 more months of hot weather. But these are pretty tall. Okay, so I'll show you the progress as we move along. All right, still August 4th, and here's the haircut that I gave. Didn't disturb Mr. B. We got saved some flowers. You can see where I cut it. All pretty much about pole height. And then this hopefully should bush out and be harvestable. And then we'll probably get some flowers probably in August. But look at all of this food that came off of here. I'm going to strip the leaves. I'm going to put it in. The next step in the process is to put that in an area to be watered, like over there. And then I'm going to hose the whole thing off because there's like ants, and I just want to wash off the leaves and such. And I'll turn it over a few times. Then I'll start processing the leaves off of there, and also throw the ones that aren't edible into my worm compost piles. So that's the stage we're at right now. So how do you like that haircut? Looks kind of organized. All right, we're getting close to finishing up here. Here we have the what's left in the chair. In one of these bins, I put the good stuff that I'm going to be cleaning in the house and dehydrating. Then I have the stuff that's not ready for prime time, and that ends up going into the worm pile. I separated my two worm piles. And then I save what I cut off. I leave a little bit at the end, and then I strip the rest of it, and I got it in these buckets so that it will stay watered until hopefully it'll establish some roots over the next week. And then I can move it to a place where it can get some moisture and I can control the humidity for it. So in any event, that's what's happening. These two bins are helpful. And then so later on you'll see me processing this stuff in the house. And then I'm almost done. And I'm going to wipe down the chair, of course, once I'm done with all of that. So here we are in my kitchen. Don't look at what a mess it is. But here's what we got off the moringa tree. Alright, so what we're going to do is you hold it at an end and just lightly pull it, strip off the leaves, and of course all of this is going to get washed again, and then put in these bags. I'll show you those later, but it's I'm going to put on some music and do this for an hour or so, however long this takes. so that I can get this all ready for drying. So just grab, lightly pull. Try not to get the stems in there. When I don't have the camera, I will look really carefully at how things, which leaves I can. I did a pretty good job earlier of putting the ones that weren't ready for prime time in a special bin for the worms. So there we go, look at that. Okay, I guess you get the idea. So I'm going to make a big old collection of the leaves, and then all of these stems will end up in the worm compost for next week's worms. And the next step we'll see is the dehydration process. Alright, this is the final part of it. We've got the it all bagged up and ready for the dehydrator. So I got these bags I like a lot because they zip up, they allow air to go in, and then they don't let the leaves fly around. So they're really handy. You can get quite a bit in them too. So tomorrow I will be done with the dehydrating, and then I'll put them in some bags and put them in the freezer for future use. Just and I'll grind them up if need be, but mostly I'll just pull out some dried ones as if they were like dried spinach and put them in an omelet or a frittata or whatever, or maybe even grind some up and make a smoothie out of it. So anyway, that's the harvest. The worms got almost just as much, but those were from ones that were less perfect. So now we have these in 3 different containers. If you go to the dollar store, you can get like 3 of these for like $1. But they keep the all the leaves, so I've got 3 of these ready to go. And they zip up quite nicely. They work perfectly for the Excalibur food dehydrator. So what we're going to do is we're going to close that out. Over here are the controls. As you can see, I have it set for about 110, a little dusty. And then the other one, and then here I'm going to make this one. This is for a number of hours. So I'm going to set it for like about 9-10 hours. At 110, that should do it. That's what it's done in the past. And it makes a little bit of a hum, but works really well. So in 10 hours, we'll come back and see what that's all about. All right? Very good.